no, I like it. I like it because you're absolutely right. We would have just dove down a trove of negativity right there because
100%.
but yeah, no,
I don't know
I
what you're
mean
talking about. I have nothing but nice things to say to those Utah fans.
yeah, the record shows. Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, John. Yeah, go back and watch other podcasts. You definitely love those Utes fans.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the No Sauce Podcast. As you can see, we're starting a little differently. You saw the clip. We're going to have some fun on this podcast episode. We got some breakdowns. We're going to stay for about 60 minutes here. I know I'm telling you all about it already, but I told the guys the outline. I'm going to throw them a curveball right off the bat. But before we get to that, gentlemen, John, we got some snow today. I feel like there was a dusting, and I felt like my house was going to blow over last night with all the wind. Did you feel that?
It was crazy. It's been a weird season here in Utah. Like from the earthquake the other day. And in fact, there's been multiple
There's been
earthquakes.
two of them. Yeah.
Well, there's one or two up in Magna. There was one in Lehigh a couple
Did you
weeks ago.
feel
There's
either
one
of them?
The one in Saratoga, I felt.
Yeah, my wife
Like
felt
I
the
was
one
sitting
in
here and my
Saratoga Springs,
screens
yeah.
were shaking.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just weird. And then like I saw some snow come down, but nothing stuck. And again, you live up against that mountain, so clouds kind of hover there for a little bit longer.
It was like a light dusting. It wasn't very much snow, but it was nice to see some white stuff on the ground.
Yeah.
Wind blew through here like a mother too. I mean, it really blew last night. I mean, we were having people's blown, gates blown over, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, very similar.
I couldn't sleep last night because that's all I heard was it just howling. I was wondering if our wooden swing set that's in the backyard was going to blow over and dent my new canopy, and everything else. And yeah, I was
just hoping somebody's like trampoline would just blow into my backyard so I'd get one, but no, unfortunately. Nope.
The wind was pretty crazy though. You got to admit it.
Yeah.
It was possible if somebody had a trampoline that went that way, but yeah.
But I mean, hey, winters here in northeastern Nevada, we had local high schools pick their baseball and softball teams. We had our first NENOA umpire meetings, so it's been great baseball weather up until this point until we pick teams, and now we're going to be under a foot of snow for the next month, so it's going to be fantastic.
Good times, yeah. Good. Yeah. We're supposed to get snow this week sometime, more of it. So we'll see how that plays out. It says it's supposed to snow, but usually the weather is never on par out here. So it's kind of crazy in Eagle Mountain. Anyways, let's get to the topic here. First one of the night. This is the curveball. Originally, we were going to talk about something that's going to be really, I think was going to get really heated. But after reading something on Facebook, instead of arguing which fan base is worse between BYU and Utah, I have decided to throw this curveball. What's been, and Danny, you're not necessarily a BYU Utah guy, and you'll talk about, you could talk about your interactions between the different game day, segments you went to. But for me and John, it's a little different, and you do have probably some Utah fans or BYU fans as friends, but what's been your best interaction with fans from either side?
Is that a question for me?
That's the topic. What has been some of your best interactions? Because we could talk all day about which one's worse, right? We could show what the reaction was from Utah to Parker Kingston news. We could show what BYU's reaction to, the Lauren McCluskey thing, and we could talk all about this rivalry stuff that has made it really, especially on social media, it makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
Reading something, where there's so much negativity in the world, I want to talk about something positive that you can take away from this. Yeah, I'm being fluffy here, okay?
No, I like it. No, I like it. I like it because you're absolutely right. We would have just dove down a trove of negativity right there. But I don't know. I mean, like historically, I'm just gonna take the new, right? Like because I mean, obviously I'm kind of, new to the BYU Utah rivalry type of deal. I grew up around, one of my, like I said, my best friends of the past, the Schofields, devout Mormon family, and, one of my best friends and all that kind of stuff. But recently the thing that just popped out of me when you said that was going from big noon kickoff, which was the Holy War, right? Me and Dame went down and did the Texas Oregon thing, and we were literally like, between the two rivers, and you had orange and green between the red and blue. And that was cool. So we saw some things, and met a lot of cool kids, whatever. And then going up and going to college game day, and me and Damien were standing there, and this kid runs up to us and goes, "This guy." Like his two friends ran up, and like him and Damien started dapping it up, and they were like, "He brought the Oregon dude too. There's the Ducks here." So guys that we had seen in Provo, we also saw in Salt Lake City at game day, and they were Utes fans. But that's that's probably the coolest positive type of thing. You went negative, John, right off the freaking bat, dude. God damn it.
Typical Utah
I was trying to say something
typical Utah
about
fans just trying to kiss butt so they can get into a bigger conference because they're too good for the Big 12. I will say this.
They were already in a bigger conference anyway. But yeah, no, that was the positive. That was the positive thing that I had. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Now they claim that they're going to get an invite to the Big Ten in the next couple of years. So
they should have went there in the first place. But yeah, anyways. But yeah, whatever, dude. But
that's go to parties you don't get invited to.
That's my recent positive experience. Like I said, I've got a lot of BYU fans, whatever. That's just something that stands out in my brain from your question. So there that is.
Yeah. No, I mean,
say something positive, John.
I mean,
You don't have anything. Exactly.
I have not had many terrible experiences with Utah fans. Okay. I've also never gone to a game at Rice Eccles, nor do I have any desire to.
You've never gone to a game at Rice Eccles Stadium?
No.
Oh, you need
definition of a hater.
You need to sometime.
I have no desire to. No desire. Now, I've gone to a concert or two up at Rice Eccles. It was fine.
I know you and everybody and their dog went to the Garth Brooks concert years back, and everybody paid for it. I'm sitting at home. I didn't even know Garth Brooks was in town.
And I made it out without getting killed.
Okay.
So that was good.
But why? Let me ask you, why? Why will you not go watch a game in Rice Eccles Stadium? Are you intimidated to go in there as a BYU fan? Or
I just have no desire. Like, I have no interest in that team at all.
Even if it's BYU, lose, even if it's the Holy War.
Yeah, even if it's BYU, because I know in that game, I've heard too many stories about fans going a little over the top.
Oh,
and
God!
I don't want to put that.
So you're scared. You're being a bitch about it.
Let him talk.
Okay, I will.
No, I don't want to go into those environments. Just like I don't go and try to pick a fight and stuff. Like, I'm not out there looking to get shit upon. Okay, I want to go enjoy a game, whether my team wins or loses or not. That's it. I don't want to come out of there having to wonder, am I going to have to throw fisticuffs? Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You heard me say it. Utah fans, there's some of you that are thugs. Some of you.
So
there are some nice people, but I
got something to counter that thought for you, John. So what year was Zach Wilson at BYU?
A number of years. It wasn't just a 1 year.
COVID year. I think it was the year before.
No, he was there the COVID year.
I know he was the year before there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
When BYU got up like 20-0 at halftime over Utah at Rice Eccles. So me and my brother, he has buddies that have season tickets to Utah football games, and they sit, I want to say it was like 6 or 7 rows behind the opponent's bench at Rice Eccles, right around the 50-yard line. And his buddies couldn't go, so he got 2 tickets, and we went. I was in full BYU gear, BYU hat, BYU hoodie, BYU pants. My brother's in BYU stuff. We're the only BYU fans in this entire section. And I don't think we got heckled one time.
It's tough to heckle when you're getting, when you're getting beat, right?
No, BYU was up 20-0. And then Utah came back and won the game in the second half. I even told my brother, Utah's going to come back and win this game because BYU could never put it away. And Utah was just messing with them at that point. Like, Utah was a better team. And we still didn't get heckled when Utah was starting to come back. Like I get the concern. I just think social media tends to overblow it a lot when it comes to what happens at these games. So that's just my experience wearing BYU gear and being at that game.
And I'm assuming it does. I mean, social media overblows a lot of things. But again, I have no. Like I've been there enough that like getting out of that stadium late night from a concert is already bad enough, let alone a bunch of drunk sports fans. Like,
I will say the way that they have that stadium built, where like there's only one concourse and everybody's forced to go to it. It's miserable trying to get out of that stadium after a game. Like
I've learned don't get tickets in the north end. You will be there for hours.
My brother and I went to the USC game a few years back when they had Cam Rising. They went for 2 and beat Caleb Williams, and like it took us almost 45 minutes just to get through one gate because they all force you to go to one gate to get out. And I've been there for a few, but see, here's the other thing. If you're a Utah fan, they probably feel the same way when they go to Lavelle Edwards Stadium because they've had the same issues at Lavelle Edwards Stadium as they have it's so crazy how that rivalry brings out the worst in a lot of people.
It's not just that rivalry, man. I mean, it's all the rivalries, and that just John, I mean, the fact that you're so concerned, that is the most entitled Utah white person scared thing I've ever heard. Like people, you sound like you're worried about going to the Oakland Coliseum, dude. We're talking about Salt Lake City, man.
It's interesting. It's I don't know. I get where he's coming from because the way it's set up, it could happen. I don't think it does happen. I mean, like I said, we went in full BYU gear in the middle of Utah season ticket holders and nothing happened.
But normally the season ticket holders are fine. It's the college age kids that are the ones that you get
college age kids are completely on the other side from where you would sit. So you wouldn't even have to deal with them.
Yeah. Again, though, I go back to my statement. It's not that I'm afraid. It's like I have no interest in going there.
See, I went.
It's uncomfortable. It's whatever.
My first Utah game was our Elders Quorum president, our ward, right down the street from me. They had season tickets. Jared Goff was coming into Rice Eccles with Cal. They had College Game Day here. That was my first experience with College Game Day in Salt Lake City. And, I sat with him and his Utah friends and all their Utah people, kind of close to that north end zone. And I didn't cheer because, like, I wanted Cal to win. Like, wasn't cheering for the Utes. And I don't know. I think it's a fun atmosphere for the right game. I think that's where you have to choose your game wisely because I think it's a great atmosphere. Like that USC game that my brother and I went to up there was just like for BYU. It's like you choose the right game, that atmosphere is going to be off the charts. Night game, Danny. You need to go to a night game.
So let's do it, dude. Hey, BYU's coming to Rice Eccles next year. Let's go. Thursday. Let's get tickets. Let's go. I want to see it, dude. I want to go. I want to see what it's all about. Like I really do. That's why I went to the Holy War this year. That was so perfect. That was great. Such a great experience, dude. I love being down there. I didn't go into the game, but I just love being there for the Big Noon experience. Like honestly, and the BYU, the faithful was great, dude. The whole experience was cool. I got the little lighted hat the night before. That was all cool. But I want to go to a game, so like I'm down. Let's go to Rice Eccles, put it on the calendar, and let's make it happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a crazy year this next year, though.
What's that game?
It's in November, I think.
Because last year was November, wasn't it?
No, it was a little bit earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in October.
Yeah,
November 7th. Yeah, November 7th, Saturday, November 7th.
Let's do it.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that they're moving that game further back. I still think it's a travesty that game is not like the last one of the season.
I mean, Civil War. I mean, they ruined all that with the realignments. That was always great for just Thanksgiving weekend before
that Thanksgiving weekend when those rivalry games were in place, like from Friday to Saturday night. Like, wow,
Yeah,
and even
absolutely.
Fantastic.
The Ducks and the Beavers don't even play this year, man.
That's crazy.
Such a travesty. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's good for the Beavers, but but it sucks for just
Okay, John. Here's your last question. Here's a question just to finish this off, since we're close to 15 minutes on this. Your interactions with your friends who are Utah fans, how is it when Utah and BYU play?
I mean, it's cordial. Like we're not like we'll make fun of each other, but I'll have to. If I were to pull up my phone, essentially the conversation we had with like the commissioner of my fantasy football league, he and I had a friendly wager where I ended up winning a jersey because BYU won, and so we had some fun there, and there's some banter back and forth, and pretty much BYU owned that game, and he was just like, yeah, like, man, we definitely didn't show up to play today, and so it was a little humbling, but it's been that way on the opposite end, right, where I'm like, man, well, hopefully you guys didn't waste all your energy on us this week. Hopefully you guys can go do something, because at the end of the day, my ultimate goal, all joking aside, is I want to see sports and universities, whatever, in the state of Utah do well and exceed on a national level, because again, I go back to that bias topic that we've talked about numerous times, is that Utah is not looked upon as a huge powerhouse when it comes to sports, whether it's professional or whatever. And we've started to see some peaks from, like Corner Canyon High School and their football programs. And there's been a few little blips here and there, but I just want to see consistency from the state of Utah. So seeing both BYU and Utah succeeding at the same time brings excitement to those games wherever they're held at, but also it just brings attention and excitement, focused on the state of Utah. So, that's ultimately when it comes down to it. Like, I've seen a lot of Utah games on TV, and they look electric.
Yeah.
Some for some good reasons, some bad reasons, but like the crowd certainly gets into it. It's on a game day, it's like an hour and a half drive for me through traffic,
Ride the tracks, dummy.
Well,
the tracks drop you off right there.
Yeah, that sounds miserable. An hour and a half. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
It's not good, Danny.
It's not a fun drive. I know. Yeah. We don't get to speak because Danny's on the call, because he drives a little further than that. But
no, I mean, again, the thing is like, if it's the parking's not great unless you're a Crimson Club member.
Traffic's terrible. No, I'm not speaking on. I'm just saying, hour and a half ain't shit. But yeah, I would rather drive my hour and a half than your hour and a half, 1,000% every day.
I just take the tracks up, ride the train. It stops you off right next to the stadium. So, yeah. Anyways, I think social media gives the rivalry, and any rivalry, a bad the hatred between fans. The computer keyboard warriors. I think that gives rivalries a bad rap on the hate that's spewed by the computer keyboard warriors.
It's going to take the heat because that's going to get the most clicks.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. I have a bunch of friends that are Utah fans that, they give me crap. My brother-in-law is a big Utah fan, and we go back and forth, and, but we laugh at it at the end of the day. Like John said, I think most of us want to see BYU and Utah do well. We're going to root for our team when they play each other, but ultimately, the better each school does, the better it looks for the Big 12 and the state of Utah in general, right? Like, there were years when it was Utah State, Utah, BYU were all in the NCAA basketball tournament, and that was huge for the state. So,
absolutely. Same with the state of Oregon. Same stuff, man. When we can be relevant, it's kind of cool to talk about, right?
Yep,
so
100%.
Commendable.
All right, since we were just talking about it as we started this recording, the Olympics have been going on over in Milan, Italy. It's been hit or miss for me watching it. I watched some ski jump, some speed skating, curling. I got into that a little bit during the Super Bowl. Not going to lie. I checked that during halftime. That was fantastic. I don't understand it. But yeah, good times. So
hold on. You don't understand curling?
Not the full game of it. Yeah. Not, I tried to watch, Kylie Kelsey and Jason Kelsey. She's got her own podcast, now, and she did a video on, how it's scored, and I just couldn't follow along. Like, I got bored with it, but like, those guys are locked in and intense, man. Like, it's
Did you see the controversy the other night between Canada and Sweden?
Canada guy
told them to F off.
Yeah.
Which 100%, like, they're either doing it unknowingly or whatever, but Sweden was 100% correct in that there should have been fouls called. I mean, you cannot touch the stone itself at all. Behind the line, in front of the line, you cannot touch the stone. You can touch the handle up to the hog line. After that, leave it alone. Yep.
So that brings us to the question: what is your favorite Winter Olympic event and why?
John, your turn.
Oh, I don't know, man.
You can say hockey. It's okay. We get it. Now that
I
you're
mean,
a fan.
I love hockey. I do find it. I do not. The one thing I dislike about Winter Olympics hockey is that the rink's smaller.
Are they?
Yeah, it's like a few feet smaller, and it makes a bit of a difference. Like, there's not as clear like space for passing and stuff. Also, you can't fight.
They did.
Or it's immediate ejection.
Yeah, it's an ejection. That's right.
Like I find it frustrating because that's, I think, a part of the sport of hockey that makes it so relevant is when your captain's getting cheap shotted or elbowed in the face or whatever. Like, you gotta, or your superstar, like, you gotta be able to stick up for the guy, and the only way is to have enforcers that cause some pain or disrupt the game. I will say, watching Team USA, Brady Tkachuk, I love him. I love him. He looks like the old Geico baby grown up into a human being, and he just has a presence on the ice. He plays with a fierce tenacity, and it's like, in my mind, what a hockey player should be. They should be rough, tough, but still skilled with the puck. And like, we were losing going into that game against who were we playing? I can't remember which game it was. Was it Germany? No, it wasn't Germany. We handled them. It might have been the Denmark game. We were losing 2-1, going in, ending the first period, and he came in and was just like, had some big hits, was getting into a guy's face. He kind of got away with a punch to the face on this one dude, and then we came out the second period and just took over. It was a momentum shift, and for them to take fighting out of the game, that takes a bit of hockey away from it. So, I honestly, I can't answer, because I love the Winter Olympics so much more than I do the Summer Olympics, if I'm being 100% honest.
Interesting.
Like, everything from the skiing and snowboarding events to, the high, like the ski jumps. Like, I was in high school when the Olympics were here in Utah, and we got, based on grades and all this kind of stuff, we got free tickets to go, like, during school hours, and they would bus us up, and like, my family, like, we got to go to short track, speed skate. Like, there was just so many good, fun things. I don't know. I love the skating events too. Just, like the figure skating, ice dancing, all that stuff. Because there's so much athleticism that goes into it, and there's a stipulation that if you're, like a male figure skater, for instance, that you're probably swinging for the other team, and it's like, not I don't care about that. The athleticism that goes into what they do is insane, and like.
So pick an event then, Bob.
I can't. Let me think about it.
13 minutes about every single event at the Winter Olympics.
Not 13. No, I haven't. Not every single one of them.
10 minutes.
So I was watching the Denmark Germany hockey game, just to jump in, and they let dudes swing at each other for a minute. And even my son was like, "Hey, does the referees have to learn all the languages?" And I was like, "No, dude. I think it's kind of like the UN thing. They got a translator in their ear." And I was like, "And let's be honest, Denmark and Germany have a little history together, so they know how to talk to each other." But yeah, we'll move on.
They also, most of these guys also speak English.
Yeah,
like after the
the NHL.
Yeah, after the Germany France game today, the guys were like, one of the, I think the French captain, that was kind of his curtain call, and you had some of the German players going up to him like, "Hey, great game, man! Congrats on the great career," blah blah blah, like, in English, and I'm like, No, that's it.
Yeah. So John's going to yield his time to the floor, is what I'm hearing, so he can regroup and think about it. So Kyle, why don't you go ahead and jump in?
I have two, and part of it's because I've watched more of it this.
Oh my gosh! Speed up! You're taking too much time.
You took 10 seconds to say that. You took 10 minutes, you jackwagon. I've been watching the ski jump. It's been on my TV quite a bit. Like flying through the air, coming off those ski jumps is just wow. Like so ski jump, and I love speed skating. I think that is the wrecks that happen in those speed skating races, especially the short track.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are two of my favorites. I mean, I'm not going to go into the John speech talk but there's a lot in the Winter Olympics you can like, but those are my top two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys have left a lot of time, and that's a good thing because I got a couple a little bit here, but I'll just set that playing field for you, John, so you can have a little bit of food for thought here. But yeah, I'm right on you with curling, because for the simple fact that that's the one Olympic sport that I could potentially still do. And let's be honest, Sean and I and Damien, we've talked about it. And I mean, you could really, I mean, if you looked at the team from last Winter Olympics, I mean, 4 dudes from Green Bay with dad bods. I mean, it's literally shuffleboard on the ice. So curling, yeah, and definite thing that I keep an eye on because I want to learn how to play it and win it. I'm with you on the figure skating, though. Figure skating is definitely one of those things that's kind of mesmerizing. What they do is just I can't understand how they spin around and still stand up. Like I can barely spin around 10 times on a bat and walk down first base, and those guys do it at 45 miles an hour or whatever. So, but that's always in prime time, right? So you spend a lot of time watching that over the years because that's generally in those slots where you have time to watch it. So figure skating is cool. Alpine skiing is very, very fun to watch because you don't get to see that often. That and that's about Olympic sports. My big deal about Olympic sports are the ones that I can see predominantly every 4 years. You don't see them on ESPN, whatever. Really used to, and I still do. I love watching your half pipe snowboard, your big air ski jump, freestyle stuff like that. But for me, that's X Games. That happens every year, right? Like it kind of gets overplayed. I guess, especially from the United States. If we lived in, more warm countries, that probably wouldn't be the case. But that's why, that I don't really gravitate towards those much, but I'll watch them every time they're on. But I think ultimately my favorite, because once again, it's that shit that you only see once every 4 years, is your sliding sports. Your luge, skeleton, bobsled, right? Like, I mean, those venues get put together, and let's be honest, dude, it's plywood with some sprayed ice on there, and those dudes are doing and men and women are doing, 75 to 90 some odd miles an hour, and the coordination and guts that it takes to do that. The sliding sports, I would love to try one. I mean, you could still do it out in Park City, right? Am I correct?
I think so. Yeah. So
have you ever done it?
No, I haven't. I would love to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's how I feel about Olympic sports, and I love the Olympics. I'm with you, John. I'll just watch the Olympics. Winter Olympics is super intriguing to me. The Summer Olympics is the Summer Olympics, but I enjoy just watching the Olympics. I haven't been invested as much as I usually have in the past, but I think if I'd have to answer your question, Kyle, I would go with the sliding sports.
Yeah. Skeleton's crazy, dude. I don't know that I could go down the way that they go. I mean, you're head first at, what are they going, like 70, 80 miles an hour?
70 to 85 miles an hour.
In Vancouver, crazy. What, in 2010, they were getting up to like 93, 94 miles an hour. Like,
yeah, that course was that was really fast, like dangerous fast in Vancouver for sure.
And like, I just think with the neck issues that I have, like, imagine sitting here just staring up like this for like a minute and a half. Like, that already hurts enough, let alone be like bouncing around on this ice.
Yeah.
But the one you can't control though is the luge, dude. You're laying on your back, like at least on your front you can kind of steer that thing, but just laying on your back and just send it, man. Like, yeah, those sports are crazy, and go Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah.
Go Jamaican bobsled team. What a way to end that segment. Yeah, that's good times.
John, did you pick one?
I don't know that I can't. I've actually the last
John just
8
went for
years.
Winter Olympics. Let's just leave it at that.
Just Winter Olympics, but the 4-man like snowboarding race, whatever they call that.
Snowcross. Yeah.
That's intense, and it's especially like this year. What was it? There was like a 44-year-old American that's been in the Olympics like 4 or 5 times, just like the greatest attitude ever. And I love that they hype each other up. And here, like he was like the father figure of everybody, racing kids half his age, and that's been a fun sport to see, and like the tactics behind like not always needing to be in first and how to draft, and I don't know.
And these new sports are exciting. They really are, right? Like these sports are super exciting.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, so one last question about this then, just to finish off this Winter Olympics segment. Like, I was talking to Heather about this. I think it was last night, maybe when we were sitting at Texas Roadhouse, and they had some events going on big TVs by the bar. But is it weird that they have so many channels that you can watch different events on, where it used to be you turn on NBC, and you just watch kind of a recap from different events and stuff like that? Like, they didn't have the TNTs, the True TVs, all these other channels that you could watch. I don't know. It just seemed like a tradition where we'd sit down as a family for a few hours, each night when the Olympics were going on when I was younger, and all we could see it was NBC, and we see what they would show. Do you remember
streaming? It's because it's streaming, right? Like now, Peacock's got this and that, and
it's much more accessible. You can actually, which is weird. I battled this the other day, trying to watch some of the other hockey games. They're not like streaming many of the other like pool play games. And so I tried to go on like NBCOlympics.com, and like I found the games, and you could do like a partial trial, and then you could also, it would occasionally let me log in with my Hulu account, and I could watch the full game. But as soon as that game ended and I want to go to another one, it wouldn't allow me access. And so then I like pulled out my phone, and like I don't know, NBC's got this like chokehold on it. So I'm like, I'm glad that they had multiple channels this year, and like make it a little more accessible. I'm on a computer. Make it like March Madness.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Back in the day, right? Like that game happened last night. Like we would have to wait to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would have to get up or watch it live and get up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever, to actually watch the game live. If you happen to have some sort of satellite service, which I did not.
Yeah. So I mean, there's plus and minuses to it, I guess. Where you can stream it, live, but the tradition's kind of gone with all that in a sense. But it is what it is. So, all right. Segment number 3. This is a good one. I'm interested to see. I know what Danny's answer is going to be. John's might be the same thing too. So, what would you rather do? And you can comment on this. Comment on this. What you would rather do. Damien, I know you're listening to this. I want to know what your response would be. You're just that guy. You and Yak and the Dodgers and the Braves and blah 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 garbage. Anyways, what would you rather do? Weekend of spring training. Go to a weekend of spring training, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or the first weekend of March Madness, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament. Danny, you go first, since we already know your answer. Like this is the easiest answer you're going to have all night.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. I'd love to go. If it was in Salt Lake, I'd go hang out with you guys and we'd watch some basketball and stuff for 4 days. But yeah, I'm going to spring training. Absolutely, man.
Florida or Arizona?
Huh?
Florida or Arizona?
If I had the opportunity for somebody to pay me to go somewhere, I'd go to Florida, because Arizona's a lot closer, and I think I can make that trip. So, I mean, it's hard to tell. Like I'd probably want to go wherever the Braves go. And I would think that would be the Grapefruit League down in Florida, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I would definitely probably try to go there if I had the choice. You pick one or the other. I'm going to take the Grapefruit League because that's where I want to be, down in the dirty. But I want to go down to golf down in the spring. Yeah, I've missed that trip, dude. Every time I've had something going on, not doing it this year again, really pissing me off. But it's gonna happen. We're gonna make that happen. I want to go down to spring training. So
I will say this: I feel like the stadiums, the spring training stadiums in the Phoenix area, are closer than the ones in Florida.
Yeah,
yeah,
because they're more or less centralized in the Phoenix area, where in Florida they're all over the state. Right, like they're not just in the southern tip of Florida type deal.
Yeah, from what Dame and Yak and Sean said, that pretty much everything was close, but they went to one field that I think it was in Glendale, or that was quite a bit out of the way or whatever. But I got no relationship, dude. I got no relation to that. I flew in and out of Phoenix once, so I haven't driven around. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. John, what about you?
I'm gonna go with C. Golf,
none of the above. That's
golf
weird.
Weekend trip to Myrtle Beach.
Oh my gosh, there you go.
Kidding.
I told you he would go off track here, Danny. I told you.
Didn't even pick an Olympic sport. Now we can't answer this freaking question. John, you need to make some decisions, dude. Let's go.
I mean, how many games are we catching in a day for spring training?
Well,
one or two?
It's probably just one, because they don't play a lot of night games in spring training.
I would probably go with the first round of the NCAA. Now, because I have in the back of my mind when I moved back to Utah 6, 7, whatever years ago, my company had tickets to that first round that was in Salt Lake. We saw Baylor and I can't remember who else, Gonzaga, and we were there for that first night. Like, it was great, in a suite, unlimited food, drinks. Like, that was amazing. Yeah, I would love to experience that.
Yeah,
but it would also depend on the city, right? Like,
sure,
because there's some additional stuff. But I assuming I got to pick the city, I could pick which games I go to. Yeah, I would probably take the first round.
First round of the NCAA tournament at Rice Eccles. Go.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
pass. The Winter
Hard
Classic
pass
there next year. I wonder if he's going to go to that.
Oh yeah.
I will go to that for sure, because that's that. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say once in a lifetime, but like, how many times is Utah going to host that game?
Yeah, that's cool.
Over the next 15, 20 years.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I mean, it's already bad enough. You have teams that have been around forever that are bitching and complaining that they've only been in the league 2 years. How did they get this game? Because we said we did what we said we would when we brought the team here, and this is Bettman taking care of the people in Utah.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna say something, but whatever.
No. You say it now. You can't do that.
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
You're such a liar. Say it.
I really don't.
I love the spring training though, because if you're only catching one game a day, you're also probably catching 18 that day. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. The thing I will say about this is, I think it depends. Like you said, it depends on where the NCAA tournament, where we're going for that first round, if how that works out. Because technically, like that Salt Lake, first round, I was there. I actually got to cover a game. I sat right behind the scorers table for that New Mexico State Auburn game, where New Mexico State had a chance to win, because I got to cover the Aggies. I was on national TV, by the way. You could see me.
I'm kind of a big deal. This is Kyle. This is Tim over here.
Yeah, you were the backdrop behind that one goal, right?
Yeah, I was right there. So, anyways, but I only went to that one game. I would have loved to stay the rest of the night, because I had a seat, with the media, and I would have loved to stay in the rest, because that atmosphere for that game alone, that was the first game of the day, and it was electric. Like, and it was sold out too. The Delta Center was sold out for it. So, like, there were some other games. I think Kansas was there that round. Like, there was some legit. Yeah, that was the best
I have an honest question about how that works. Okay, so NCAA tournament, Salt Lake City, but that's 4 games a day, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Right. Okay, first round, right? Especially.
Yep.
Okay, so you got like tickets to game 1, or do you buy tickets to all 4? Do they clear the stadium? Do you got a certain band? Like, how does that work? I've always wondered that.
You buy so there's 2 sessions, right? There's an early session and there's a night session, and
Mm-hmm.
you buy tickets to each session, so you can stay for both games.
So how do they decipher like who's got to go? That's what I'm curious. Like, I just bought shit to the first session. You bought it to both, or do they clear the arena between the 2 and you got to come back in?
They clear the arena between the 2.
Okay, yep. Okay. That's what I was curious
and,
about.
and that's why you'll see a lot of times at like some of those earlier or even later games, especially the earlier games where you have fans from a team that's not even playing wearing UConn stuff because their team plays next, but they're in their seats because they're ready for the UConn game. And
right, for the second game of that first session, and they'll clear the arena and then refill it for the last session. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It was cool to be there. That's the only time I've ever been to a round of 64 or even an NCAA tournament game. That was the only time I've ever been there. So the thing about that is for the first and second rounds, you're only going to games on a Thursday or a Saturday or a Friday or a Sunday. They're not playing every day of the weekend.
Right.
You could get 4 games on a Thursday, just in that environment, in that atmosphere, and then go play 18 or 36, whatever you want, Friday, come back Thursday or Saturday and watch, those, I think there's 4 games, maybe 2 games.
No, it's another 4, dude. Yeah, that first weekend, I think it's 4 a day, dude.
And I just,
there's 2, right?
No, it should be only 2 on that day because that's the Sweet
16. You have 4 games and then 2 games.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, you're 64, 32. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I would love to do a weekend of spring training. You hit Sloan Park to watch the Cubs and whoever. Then you go to Diablo Stadium and watch the Angels and whoever, or you go over to Surprise in Peoria, and the Mariners and Padres are right there next to each other, and I mean there's, and like you said, you watch one game and then you go play 18, and then you go chill at crazy food places that they got all over the Phoenix area.
Or you get an Airbnb and you cook a pork butt and hope the Hondurans don't come out of the garage. Right, Kyle?
I told John that story. We rehash it every time we talk about this stuff. But yeah, 100%.
Really happened, John. We can't make that shit up, dude. That's
with the video cameras all over us, so that wow.
Eddie, our boy Eddie.
Yeah. Speaking, that's a great segue there, Danny, to the final question for the final segment. Worst or most legendary softball moment, or moments, or trips, or whatever. I know what I'm thinking here, and John will back me up on this.
Well, I'm not leading off. I've led off 2 segments. John's got 1, so it's time for you to take lead off, Mr. Leadoff Hitter.
Yeah. So we went to GSL Worlds. Was it 2018 or 2019?
I don't know.
GSL Worlds. We go.
They didn't have a pregame discussion on this.
Like I need to know what your story is to be able to say, oh yeah, no.
You didn't
just
come
tell
down
your story.
Yeah, let me just get to it. Okay, so
there you go.
We go down a day early, bunch of us. John came late that night.
Went down where?
To Vegas, right?
Vegas. This is Las Vegas, Nevada. For what tournament?
We had an Airbnb that these 2 twin brothers kind of got us connected.
At a Worlds tournament, or just
I don't know why that just did. Something just went weird on my thing. I don't know why, but anyways, still recording. I got to edit that out. Sorry. So let me go back to my session here. Okay.
Rewind.
Yeah. So we go to Vegas for GSL World 2018. Assholes. Take 2. Right. Here we go. We're starting. Anyways,
Take 3.
We go to Vegas for GSL Worlds 2018 or 19. I can't remember what it was. These twin brothers got us an Airbnb. not a bad place. But me and a bunch of us, we got down there early. We were going to go out on the strip and do our thing, right? And so we did. We walked from like Planet Hollywood all the way to, Monte Carlo, and then all the way back. We played cornhole at Caesar's Palace. Some of the guys took a lot of Fireball, and they were hammered while we're walking the strip and everything else. I wanted to watch the Bellagio show, so we came back, and we're standing at the Bellagio show. It's like 8 o'clock at night. We get a text message from one of these brothers, and this is after you had gotten there too, I think, because you were mad that we were out and about, not with you, and we didn't save you your own room, John, at this Airbnb, because you had to stay with one of the brothers in the room.
I'm just trying to think. No, I think you guys had gotten back.
No, we had not gotten back. We were not back. We were at the Bellagio. You text messaged us because you were mad that we didn't save you a room. I promise you.
Okay.
I'll have others that can back up the story. Anyway, so we're standing at Bellagio. We get a text.
They were inebriated, so I can't take their.
We get a text message in the group, team message from one of the brothers. Well, it's probably time you guys start getting back and getting to bed. We got a game to play tomorrow. We didn't play till like 2 p.m. the next day. And I'm like, no, we're not going back. I want to go over to Fremont Street. I've never been to Fremont Street, so we're going to go experience that right after this. And so we end up going to Fremont Street.
Smells like piss.
That, weed, everything else. You got the old stripper, the retired stripper in the wheelchair, holding up the sign and things like that.
Was that before they had the circles, or did they still have did they have the circles already?
What are the circles?
So nowadays, okay, yeah, sorry, just to interject. Nowadays, those street performers and shit, they have a circle. They have to stay in that circle so they don't get in your bubble.
I think they did at that time too. Yeah,
okay.
I think they did, if I remember right. Anyway, so we did that. Then we're driving back to this Airbnb. I've got 2 guys in the front seat of my truck. I've got 4 guys in the back, and one of them is Adam, our buddy Adam, who is drunk, passed out in my back seat, just right there laying. And right before I had the middle seat, and it's got the plastic cup holder right there on the middle part. And right before I go to turn into the cul-de-sac where the Airbnb is, I slam on my brakes. Just, and he comes and he cracks that plastic middle seat. I couldn't, my eyes were watering. I was laughing so hard. And we turn in, and he's the first one to bed. I was afraid that he was concussed and that we were going to have to, go to the hospital next morning because he went straight to sleep, and it was crazy. But he was the first one up the next morning.
As we usually are.
Getting to my point about this, John, you'll understand here. So next day
we
go to BLD, and we're taking batting practice. I couldn't decide who was going to be our DHH to start, right? And I was hitting well in the cages and BP and everything, and so I made myself DHH for our first game. I rolled over 3 times to first base as DHH. Rolled over 3 times, right? We lose the game. I think we got run ruled or something because I was awful and we were awful, and yeah. So anyways, we had to play a game later that night, an elimination game against this team from Illinois. I took myself out of the lineup, and put the best guy, like I do when I don't hit well in the first game. And as we're playing, we're leading, we're kind of going back and forth with this team. And it was one of the later innings. Their coach that was coaching third base, like, why aren't you playing? He's like, well, we got invited to come down. We wanted to get out of the cold weather in Chicago. This is kind of a mixed team, and we're not, necessarily their guys, and blah, blah, blah. And so we're just down here. And, then he asked me, he's like, why aren't you playing? I said, well, I didn't hit real well in the first game. I was the DHH, and before I could even get the rolled over 3 times, he's like, oh yeah, we heard of you. You're legendary. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we heard of you. We know that whole story. So you're a legend around these parts right now. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then we ended up walking them off. Robert hits a bomb to walk them off, to send them home. And yeah, now the guys just always make fun of me for, rolling over 3 times as a DHH. And I've never been a DHH since. So
yep. No, he just leads off and gets a pinch runner. That's what we do with Kyle now.
We do.
Just go get a base hit. We'll run for you, bud.
That's what we do.
That's funny.
John, you go.
Man, it's tough to beat Kyle's 6 stories there.
I had one story. It all came together into the one climax. Well, yeah.
Well, and with that, we're out of time today, so we'd like to end this episode of the No Sauce Podcast.
We still got 11 minutes, bud. It's at 49 minutes. I got it right here.
Yeah, time for Matt Damon, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I would say probably one of the funnest, memorable experiences was my first time doing Blood and Guts tournament out in Reno.
You've been to Blood and Guts. That's new information. All right.
Yeah. So when I lived in Idaho, we went out there. I never went out to Dublin. I heard that was a fun one.
Cold as fuck. Shit. But what year did you go out there? I'm curious because I may have, and what weekend? Because I very well could have been there umpiring.
Very well could have been. I don't remember. I think we normally went down the second weekend.
Okay. What year?
Maybe the first weekend. But anyways, like the first year I went, it was kind of a throw together team. I had only met maybe a couple of the guys on the team, and we ended up having like 3 or 4 guys out of Reno on the team, including this one pitcher who was just insane. Like I don't think if I remember correctly, he didn't pitch with a mask, but he shut down the middle. But anyways, we ended up losing a game or two, and we made it to like Saturday night, and we ended up playing this team out of Washington, who their DHH was this big dude, former lineman from Washington State, just a behemoth of a guy, could hit the ball hard as hell. Anyways, he ends up like getting a single, gets to first base, and we've got 2 outs. Ground ball to our shortstop. I'm at second base. I come over, take the throw at second base, and unlike the jackass when I moved to Utah that decided to run me over, this guy literally picked me up and ran me out to left field. And from there, it was just like these guys were awesome. We ended up playing them, I think the next day on Sunday, and because we ended up losing like Sunday morning, and so this was like our last chance to keep going, and they ended up beating us. But I don't know, it was just a fun trip because like we had one of my videos of like I had to hit this awesome double off the fence, and in the background you could hear one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah," and then I blew up the bathroom at the El Dorado or whatever hotel it was. I was just a ton of fun. We ended up playing I think like 8 or 9 games. We always got the shaft. We always started off on those crappy
Shadow Mountain.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like these fields were iffy at best.
Shadow Mountain. The backstop was like 9 feet from the plate.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and
dude. Umpired thousands of games there. Did you go to Golden Eagle?
Oh yeah, and so we ended up going to Golden Eagle and playing. Right. The nighttime games there were awesome, and that ball would just travel and carry because it's cold and it would go forever. But at Shadow Mountain, one of our center fielders in our first game dove for a ball, caught it, goes to like push himself up, and there is a knife in the ground, handle first in the ground with the blade sticking up, like right next to like his shoulder, like right here, and it's just there, like ready to like stab him. And so like just sketchy. Go to Reno. It's fun ball, but you might not make out a lot.
I went to Reno a couple years ago for the.
It's actually Sparks where you were at. It's not Reno.
Sparks,
but
yeah.
Anyway, like it was the
Boneyard.
We went to
Boneyard.
I'll never go again. It sucked. Unless we take like a legit team, I'll never go again because it was awful. Plus, Derek Ridgway, a-hole he is, he pushed me off my freaking bed, so I had to sleep on the floor for 2 nights.
They were spooning.
Yeah, never.
Who was umpiring?
All right, Daddy, so let's hear yours. We got a few minutes.
Okay, well, you got a few minutes. You ain't got enough time for my shenanigans. But, okay, so that's obviously a broad question. When you asked that, I was like, man. I mean, I got all kinds of. You said the question was worst or most fulfilling. Was that the question that was presented?
Now you made me pull it back up.
I'm just
It was
clarifying.
worst or most legendary softball moment?
Okay, so most legendary, I don't know. That's definitely. I got a couple that I'm just gonna cap it off with, but worst, hands down, was Evanston. I mean, I have swung a slow pitch softball bat millions of times. I've had
Evanston.
This year's the only time I played in Evanston.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So yeah, the only time in my slow pitch softball history I've struck out swinging was in Evanston. And
He
it was
wasn't even close to it when he struck
Dude, it
out.
was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my entire life. I didn't know anybody there. Like, literally, after I struck out, like, first of all, I've never struck out. Like, I only struck out like a handful of times in baseball in high school. I don't strike out. I make contact, may not be great, may roll over 30 times in a row.
Yeah.
But I make contact. And when that happened, I walked over, and of course, our buddy Yak is there because, that's our buddy Yak. And he, just looks at me, and I give him the look, and I go over and sit down on the bench. And first of all, I wasn't supposed to bat at that point in time. I probably shouldn't have been batting, but that's no excuse. I still should have made contact. But so I go over and sit on the bench, and he's like, are you going to go coach third? And I looked at him dead ass in the eyes, and I was like, Yak, I don't want to be seen in public right now. Like, I am genuinely embarrassed. I hope nobody recorded that, and thankfully I don't think nobody did.
He was not even like the ball hit the mat before he finally swung.
No, I swung. The ball went by. I was light years ahead.
Yeah,
light years.
It was
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So that
he did it. Like I didn't think I really thought that he wasn't really trying to swing. Like that's what I thought.
It was bad. It was definitely bad. So that is hands down the worst ever softball experience of my entire life. That'll never happen again, I hope. But I mean, most fulfilling. There's a couple. We got a couple minutes here. So early on, when I moved to Elko, man, there was this team, and this is going to tie right into Damien. There's a team called the Cannibals in Elko, and they were just those guys that just got rip roaring, had a good time, hit the ball well. And their mantra was never dead. They were the Cannibals. They were never dead, and they always came back, man. I don't know how many times I lost to them in the bottom of the seventh, or the bottom of the last inning, whatever. I'd have them beaten, and I could never beat them. It was just like that team I could never beat. So the first time I finally got to beat them, that was like the monkey off my back type of deal early on in my slow pitch career. So that was pretty cool. Damien will be able to attest to that. I'm sure he's going to throw some comments down about the Cannibals and all those guys. And then same thing with always being the bridesmaid and never the bride out here in Elko. Like, I played in so many championship games, always made it to the championship game, very seldomly won it. Like, once again, early on, first 10, 15 years, just, get a squad that would get right there, and then run into those guys like B3 Glass, like we played this last year, the Bucks, Special Forces, Cannibals, just good times, always made it, but once again, you lose a game early on, and then you could beat them the first game of the championship but couldn't double dip them. You never went in with that upper hand, right?
Yep.
So finally winning the local league championship was pretty big. But I mean, I think the most fulfilling, started a tournament up in my hometown after the local summer festival was dead for years, or for a couple of years, and it was always something that I had near and dear to my heart, the Sawdust Jubilee there in Riddle, Oregon. And a bunch of us, people around our age, brought the festival back, and the only thing I could contribute was starting a tournament, baseball, softball. So I thought about doing an alumni tournament or alumni game, and that just turned into a big old tournament, and it happened for 10 years. And once again, a bunch of my friends from my high school, they got the team that could win the tournament, and I could never win it. And then finally, the last year that I ran the tournament, which is a couple of years ago, finally won the thing against that team that always won it in the hometown. And then I could stop running the tournament and move on to other things. So that was pretty fulfilling.
Nice.
But yeah, we could go on for hours about that. But yeah, no, good times up in rural Oregon.
Yeah. We can't not mention 2 years ago, Goosetown, 50th anniversary. I mean, to lose our first game and then not lose again, and the craziness that trip was crazy. Some of the characters we had there, but I think we wheeled off like 9 straight wins between.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. Yeah, that was wild ride. I mean,
we trailed almost every game too. We had to come back to win.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and avenging that loss against that team from the Air Force Base, Lackland Air Force Base, which my brother actually was stationed at one point in time out of Spokane.
I turned an unassisted double play in that game.
Yeah. Hey, I had the most crucial walk of the tournament in that game, dude. Like I just walked and because I could. That was one of those things that, dude, like my first 5 at bats, dude, I probably rolled into a double play 4 out of 5 of those things. Like I could not elevate the ball. And like the next morning, with Dustin was, the coach of the team. And of course, Chase was there, whatnot. And, they were like, hey, we're going to bat 11. I'm like, thank God, dude, because I could not find the center of the ball. But that's part about being a good teammate, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm dog shit, dude. Please sit me down. So the adjustments you have to make throughout a tournament, like things aren't working. We have to make this adjustment because we got to do this thing. And yeah, it was great to go up and win that tournament when, like you said, dude, I mean, we had some wrecks on the team and to persevere out of that and get that dub. And hopefully we're going to go back and win that. We're going to repeat. It was off last year. It's on this year. We're coming back, Anaconda. Let's go get it.
Yeah. John, do you remember, I want to say it was 2022 or 23, maybe, that we went to Evanston for that June tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And we played Rosebud in the first game. It was Friday night. So Danny, listen, this is crazy. Our pitcher couldn't come up Friday night because his kid had a football game or something he had to go to, right? And so I had to pitch. And I walked like 16 or 17 people. The guy that came in for me walked people. We were down 25-9 with like 8 minutes left. The game was going to be over. And all of a sudden, we just start hitting the crap out of it. Like, we scored 16 runs to tie the game and send it to extras. Like, we hit for that 8 minutes. We had a chance. We had a guy on base, first base, and the guy up had been hitting lasers into the gaps, like his 2 at-bats during that inning. And he hits one straight into the ground right at the middle, to their middle guys. So we had to go to extras, and we lose in extras. But, like, I've been a part of softball games before, but never come back from that many down to, whatever. And then we won like 7 games after that, and then we ran out of gas because we played like 6 in a row Sunday without a break. Like, we started at like 8 in the morning and we didn't get a break. So I don't know. Those are some fun tourneys when you play a lot of games and you just keep rolling. Like,
that's the best way to do it, man. Absolutely. I'd rather just keep rolling. And shit, in that Riddle game, dude, I blew two 10-run leads on the mound. Kobe was jumping my ass, dude. Would you figure it out? Quit walking, people. But like you said, it sometimes it's easier to roll off 5 straight than have game on, game off, game on, game off, dude. Like, I'd rather run just let me mow through that. I'd rather take 6 or 7 hours off, take a nap, and all that. But that just never seems to be the case because. We always seem to drop one of the first 2 games, and that just puts you in the losers bracket. But we're glutton for punishment. So we get our money's worth. That's what I can say.
It was like Evanston last year in that game to get back to the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
John, this is a crazy story too. So Gannon, who played with us in Vegas, he was playing with us in this Evanston tourney in August. He leads off the inning with a solo bomb. Okay. And then we were down, I think we were down like 9 or 10?
9 or 10, yes.
Yeah. And we end up hitting around. He comes up again with 2 guys on, 2 outs, and he hits a 3-run bomb to win it, to walk it off. Like, that was there's so many good things with softball, some bad things, but man, you gotta love the game.
Sometimes you don't trust the friends to get their people home, and you call the cops on them. That happens to you.
Yeah, good times. Or John gets stolen at softball tournaments. Because
I was gonna say your story earlier about somebody being inebriated and then going through your dashboard, pretty much. That it hadn't clicked, but that is the same individual that cost me a bunch of softball gear. The same individual.
The one that hit my cup holders, Danny, in my truck.
He's the same one that I get that, but what did he steal your shit, or what are we talking about?
No, he was I was chasing him down in a parking lot because he was drunk, and I completely forgot to relock my car after I had to unlock it to grab the cooler, and then catch back up to him because he was racing after a cop, and I'm like,
he was high-fiving the police officer in the parking garage, and John forgot to lock his car because he was chasing after him. They come out the next morning. Well, I'm on my way to the fields. I get a call from the dude who was inebriated the night before, and he's like, "We're kind of in trouble. All of our stuff's gone." And I'm gullible, and these guys play jokes on me all the time with this stuff.
No, Kyle, hadn't noticed.
No. I'm just saying, for everybody that doesn't know that, I'm gullible like this. So we're almost to the ballpark, and I get the call, and I'm like, "What's going on?" "Well, all of our stuff's gone." "What do you mean all your stuff's gone?" "Yeah, it's not in the truck." "Well, is it in your room?" "No, it's not in. What are you talking about?" And finally, it clicked that somebody had gotten into John's car and stolen all their stuff, all their softball gear.
Yep.
Because he had.
Oh, okay. So I saw it as like you took off after him with the vehicle and the shit fell out. You just forgot to lock it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I got out, locked it, and I was like, "Oh, I need the cooler."
He's too cheap to pay $5 to put it in valet where it's a secure parking lot. He parks in the parking garage.
I didn't know any of that. Didn't know. Now I know. But anyways, so I got out of the car, locked it, and then I was like, "Oh, I got my cooler in there with some drinks. I'm gonna go grab it." And then he takes off, and I quickly grab it, and I'm like chasing after him, and forgot to go bleep bleep again. So
lesson learned. Let the drunk dude take off, dude. It's a lot easier to replace one guy than multiple people.
Was that the same weekend that we went 0-2, and
then lost our third game? Yeah.
No, we only played 2. We lost both games. And that was when Kit wanted to go home early, and so we missed out on the next day with you guys with Caliber and that show, and we could have went to the UNLV football game that night at Allegiant Stadium. And
dude, we had a lot of fun.
Don't get me started with that. That's a whole nother segment for another day. Don't get me.
But here's the thing: we've told these stories on this podcast before. That's why I mixed it up and I went with something from Reno because I know I haven't told it on this podcast before.
Well, I like to reiterate because
some broken record.
We're old, and so we're just getting new subscribers and new segments and new fun. And we're having all kinds
new story. Not really.
It is. We're gonna
not a really new story.
We're gonna rehash that whole Honduran Airbnb thing anytime we bring up Vegas, and needing a place to stay because that was creepy. And you can watch another episode. I'll link to that episode in the description. Anyways, everybody. What?
No, go ahead. Get out of here.
Say it.
I was just going to say, I can't wait for the first event, the 28th of March, man. We're going to have some shenanigans and hopefully have some good footage on the field.
And memories and so forth. But anyways, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this episode of No Sauce Podcast. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next episode.